Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having an incredible day. To start things off in our edition of news that's everywhere news, Bitcoin bulls were surprised to see the benchmark cryptocurrency plummet below 10,000 US dollars yesterday, with this drop marking a bearish resolution to the tight trading range the crypto had previously been caught within, which was in the lower 10,000 US dollar range. Today, this bearishness extends further as the crypto reeled down to lows, air quote lows, of 9,700 within today's drop, potentially opening the gates for significant further losses in the near term. Analysts are noting that 9,700 is a critical support level that must be held above, with a sustained dip below this potentially sparking a violent drop down to 8,500 US dollars. At the time of writing, Bitcoin is trading down nearly 1% at its current price of 9,850 US dollars, which marks a noticeable decline from the recent highs of 10,200. It's not that much. That were set early yesterday morning when the cryptocurrency was caught within a bout of sideways trading. The drop from this level led the crypto to lows of 9,800 before it bounced to the high of 10,050, which it is where it once again rejected. Someone who wrote this article is giving me a headache. The point is, the cryptocurrency market is currently down. I'm sorry for screaming. I feel like I'm screaming. I'm talking loudly and it's coming through loudly through the headphones. Maybe if I lower the volume. There we go. I lowered the volume on the headset and it's probably a little bit better. So at the moment, it really depends on where you get your news, where you want your news, how you're looking for your cryptocurrency price news, because it's kind of really all over the place. This one says, Ripple price analysis. XRP starts strong corrective decrease below 30 cents. This one says, and shows a guy jumping over a breaking tree, $9,000. Bitcoin breakdown might be the real deal as altcoins plunge. This one says, Cardano loses the pace and bottoms out at around 5 US cents. This one says, Bitcoin price completes pattern to 9,700. What's next? This one says, Ripple nosedives below 30 cents. Is this fresh decline or just a correction? This one says, Ripple XRP price into Crossroads. Bull expected. This one says, Bitcoin price endures retreat under 10,000, but recovery to 10,500 seems imminent. Are you getting the pattern? This one also says, XRP poised for a massive 100% rally as technical strength grows. The news is really directly in between all of this. I was hard pressed this morning to find many or any articles really talking about the bullishness of Ethereum, which is typically what we've been getting over the last couple of weeks. I don't think that people have turned bearish on Ethereum. I think it's more of a maybe XRP and Bitcoin were kind of at the forefront of all of this. Depending on which website you clicked on, it was either that Bitcoin was going to continue plummeting. We could potentially see 8,500, which would lead us to a 7,200, which at a certain point would then put us back into bearish territory, and then the market would have lulled itself back once again to where we were at the beginning of the year. Or like I think I mentioned about a day or two ago, remember when I said it's really weird how we went from 10,200 and then to 9,500 over the course of about 3 minutes, and then we're about $12 away from 10,000 about an hour and a half later. So I am not a psychic, first thing, but I like to believe that we are probably going to pop over 10,000 in some relatively near-ish type of future, because there's no real bearish sentiment on the market, except for people who write articles that there is some type of a bearish sentiment in the market. So for your news that's everywhere news for today, here's a good one. The prices are either going to go down and keep going down, or they're going to go up and stay back up. Right. I hope you get the irony in that, because that's what prices do. Either way, things will be fine. No need to panic. I believe we probably have a slew. Is that the right word? A handful of new people who are here now. Hello to all of you who are exploring the cryptocurrency markets. Do not fear. This is just how the markets are. I've been here for about a good 7-8 years now. The markets go down. The markets go back up. You lose money. You make a lot of money. You lose some more money. You make a lot more money. You brag to your friends. Your friends get into the cryptocurrency market. They get envious of you because they wanted to make the money that you made years ago. And that's how the cycle goes. So, yeah, prices are down. They're probably going to go back up at some point in the future. And without further ado, let's move on. Next up, in news that really probably shouldn't have been everywhere news, but everyone keeps talking about this. Changpeng Zhao, the CEO of Binance, has confirmed that his company applied for an operating license in Singapore. This comes less than a month since the Asian country introduced a comprehensive regulation or comprehensive regulations, okay, for businesses dealing with digital assets. The largest cryptocurrency exchange by trading volume has applied for an operating license in Singapore. Binance's CEO Changpeng Zhao confirmed the news in a phone interview with Bloomberg. He said that the local regulators have been open-minded and outlined his company's quick reaction. He said, "We have already applied for the third time. We submitted the application pretty fast, I'm pretty sure. Binance's Singapore entity has been in close touch with the local regulators, and they have been more than open-minded." As of earlier this year, Singapore introduced the Payment Services Act of 2019 this year. Okay, or PSA. Essentially, all cryptocurrency-related businesses and exchanges based in the country called Digital Payment Token Services come under supervision. Anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing rules apply for them as well as one might have assumed. Therefore, such businesses are required to first register and then apply for a license to operate in the country. When introduced, the Monetary Authority of Singapore's Assistant Managing Director, what a title, Lu Siu Yi, said that the PSA provides a forward-looking and flexible regulatory framework for the payments industry. Additionally, he said that it will bring more security and safety to the system, thus raising the trust. Bam! Wow. Binance has been in the news every single day. For some odd reason that I can't put my digital finger on, this news was everywhere. I feel like it is relatively obvious that Binance would have applied for an operating license within Singapore. Here's the actual, like this news made it on to Bloomberg. I could have not even known that Singapore had released a crypto license, and I probably could have ascertained that Binance would have tried to go for it. There's a lot of money in Singapore, as in many other countries as well. So, I mean, if this makes you happy, then here it goes. Binance has applied for a license in Singapore. This news was everywhere. It was impossible to get away from. And without further ado, and even more so, Binance has been in the news, like I told you, every single day. So who knows what's going to happen tomorrow, because Binance is always in the news. So let's only assume that it's... I'm going to assume that Binance is not only going to be in the news tomorrow, but that they're going to be in the news because of crypto. Very weird. I know, right? Very weird feelings. Let's move on. Next up, you get the gist of it. Bitcoin's recent price fluctuations has created a lot of anxiety among crypto investors, not really, and traders. Having started at around $7,000 at the start of the year, the top coin has swung wildly above and below 10,000 US dollars. Surprise! With Bitcoin's halving around the corner, many in the crypto space expect Bitcoin to keep climbing up the ladder. At the time of writing, Bitcoin was trading around $9,889.07. In December of 2016, Bitcoin had experienced a price rally rocketing from under $1,000 to 20,000 US dollars by December 2017. Although the current price rally isn't exactly similar to the previous one, the coin hasn't seen such a rally in almost 2 years. Brian Kelly, CEO of BKCM and Bitcoin's early adopter, said recently in an interview he talked about Bitcoin's latest price rally. He stated 3 reasons as to why Bitcoin rallied by more than 44% this year. The first reason he cited was the one that everyone keeps citing: Bitcoin's halving. Bitcoin's halving usually brings about a price surge, and this is the result of supply and demand ratio, the fluctuations of price into Bitcoin, yada yada, negative supply shock, money, Bitcoin halving, rising price. He talked about the miners, 12.5 to 6.25, end of April, $10,000 Bitcoin miners, money stated. He said, miners have stopped selling their inventory because they want higher prices. They are expecting higher prices. Words of wisdom. For those of you no, you know exactly what the halving is. You know exactly about the supply shock, and yeah, everyone collectively is expecting Bitcoin's price to not only go higher but continue to go higher, and as it goes higher, people will be more reluctant to get rid of their Bitcoin in the off chance that it continues exploding in price. Secondly, he noted that the increased adoption rate of Bitcoin also led to the price surge. This is self-explanatory, as Bitcoin is now seen as a safe haven asset across the globe, and more people are taking to Bitcoin, which in turn resulted in bullish momentum. This part, I mean, I think the what's it called? I think the halving is just a dead horse at this point. Like, we know that the halving is going to have some sort of an effect. It's more of a, when will this have an effect? But I find adoption rates of Bitcoin a lot more interesting, because typically when people get into the Bitcoin market, and I dare not even say the cryptocurrency market, let's simplify it and let's say the Bitcoin market. If you put $5 into the Bitcoin market, by the end of a week you see you have $18, you go, maybe I should put another 5. And the more you the more skin you have in the game, and the higher the price ends up going, the happier you feel, the greater you feel, the more you start maybe not bragging to other people, but you tell other people that you made some money for doing nothing. It's kind of a great feeling. This causes other people to then get into the market. What ends up happening is that when prices go crazy, everyone's like, woo, we're all rich. And then prices go down, slam back down. You typically still have a percentage of those people who got new into the market. They remain, because they know the power of the price movements, and they want that feeling once again, and they know that at some point it will exceed the previous price, because this is what we've always seen before over the last 11 years of Bitcoin. But we're seeing increased adoption rates very rapidly as hyperinflation is taking hold, as authoritarian governments are trying to increase their grasp, and just an overall intriguingness that doesn't make any sense. People are curious about what this thing is that they don't have, that other people keep making money on, that is constantly in Bloomberg and in Forbes. And I think was it Ripple was, I think, the second largest fintech startup or some money, something startup, crypto startup in the world, or so. I mean, people read these things and they become very curious as to, what is this? I've heard about this years ago. People are making money on it. So I like adoption rates more than I mean, the Bitcoin halving is, of course, a huge, monumentous occasion that none of us can forget. Sarcasm over. That was a joke. But I like this entire adoption thing. He also cited the altcoin rally as the third and final reason for Bitcoin's price surge. Interestingly, by the looks of it, altcoins seem to outpace Bitcoin. This always happens. This isn't interesting. This isn't something new. Whenever in the past, and even in the now, when Bitcoin goes up by 4%, altcoins typically go up by 15 to 20%. When Bitcoin goes down by 4%, altcoins also tend to go down by 10, 15, 18, 19%. It's just how the market is. For instance, the Ethereum market is up by around 70%. Binance coin is up by 35%, and even XRP is out in front of Bitcoin. It's because they're altcoins, and altcoins typically get a lot more energy movements behind them. However, the larger picture indicates that Bitcoin on every front is set to lead the markets for a very long time. That's because it's Bitcoin and it's the name of the game. So, yeah, tying directly into that, in, I guess, an extended edition of news that is seemingly always going to be everywhere news, Mike Novogratz has said this year will be big for Bitcoin. And I can assure you, I don't have to read any of this article because you know exactly what it's going to say. Exactly what it's going to say. He pretty much believes that Bitcoin is not only going to go past 20,000, but it's going to go above 20,000. No one saw that coming. Not one person. You're all shocked right now in disbelief. Everyone is still incredibly bullish on crypto, and Mike Novogratz and what's the guy? What's his name? Brian Kelly. They love Bitcoin and they are bullish on Bitcoin. Shocking. Let's move on. Next up, as its price rose to 7-month highs on Wednesday, the aggregate daily volume in Ether futures exceeded $4.5 billion for the first time since last summer. Volumes have risen sharply over the past 3 weeks from 750 million to 4.5 billion, according to data from Skew Markets. During that time, Ether's price rallied by nearly 70% from 160 to $280 per coin. The surge in trading volumes and prices show renewed interest in Ether and alternative cryptocurrencies in general, as a large amount of the altcoins are built on top of Ethereum. It seems the market has been gradually warming up and willing to revisit altcoins this year after a long sequence focusing on Bitcoin in the upcoming halving. This was said by Emmanuel Go, co-founder and CEO of Skew Markets. There's a little thingy right there. While Bitcoin, the top cryptocurrency by market cap, gained over 90% in 2019, Ether fell by 1%. Really? That's weird. The tide has now turned in favor of Ether this year, according to Go. The second most valuable cryptocurrency has doubled in price since the 1st of January, while Bitcoin is lagging with only 41% gains. How dare you, Bitcoin, not be up as much? Who writes these things? I want to have talks with them because I want to know why they write these words. I'm going to assume that, first of all, I keep seeing these things like, what was the other one that we had yesterday? It was like, while this coin is up by 321%, Bitcoin is up by a measly 64%. I'm like, do you own any other asset that went up by 64% in the last 8 weeks? I don't think so. 3 big exchanges, BitMEX, Huobi, and OKEX, each traded more than $1 billion worth of Ether futures. Ether futures on Wednesday, accounting for nearly 85% of the total. Well, that's a lot of volume. 85%, my word. The point is, Ether's back in styles, back in vogue. Everyone loves Ether. It is February? Let's see. March, April, May, June, July. March, June. It's around 165 days, give or take, that by the end of those 165 days, we should have Ethereum 2.0. So this is like another halving event. It's not a halving, but it's a transformationing going to proof of stake. So this could be why there's such a huge amount of renewed interest. I pray for the people from Ethereum. If they have this much energy behind them and they do not release Ethereum 2.0 on said date, they're lucky that they have so much momentum behind them once again. I think it's a lot of energy flowing behind Ethereum. The whole JP Morgan Chase talking about they're going to be using Ethereum and this is happening. And to go from you need a lot of money to go from 750 million to 4.5 billion. That means there's a huge amount of interest in just trading Ether futures, not even trading the actual cryptocurrency back and forth. I assume this will continue. I think it will also do incredibly well if we keep getting news from Vitalik and the other people announcing, yeah, it's definitely going to happen. We're also working on this, kind of the whole little hype train, but we'll see. Point is, Ether futures. Yeah, I said that right. Ether futures. Okay, yeah. I thought I'd say ENA futures. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Ether futures volume highest since last year. Bada boom, bada bing. Prices are up. Let's go. And this was a very weird video. I should have warned everyone. Did I warn everyone? If not, I'm gonna make a time machine and tell everybody. Bitcoin is going to hit a giant 400,000 US dollars. TV host Max Keiser has said, as he raised his price target for the first time in 8 years. Speaking on the news information show InfoWars, on the 17th of February, Keiser told host Alex Jones, that his old prediction of 100,000 US dollars was now too conservative. He told the show, "I'm officially raising my target for Bitcoin. When I first made this prediction when it was $1, I said this could go to 100,000. I would actually like to hear that interview when he was talking when it was $1. I'm raising my official target for the first time in 8 years. I'm raising it to 400,000 US dollars. Keiser was speaking as coronavirus continued to overshadow global markets. Why was that? Why talk about that in the article? And Bitcoin traded lower on the day at below 10,000 US dollars. Unfazed by short-term volatility, he said the largest cryptocurrency was equally as attractive at current levels as it was at the time of his original forecast. They said this is good news. The good news is that Bitcoin at $10,000 or 9,300 is equally as attractive as it was when it was $100. Remember when I told a lot of people when Bitcoin was around 6,000 and people kept on waiting for it to hit 52 or 57 or 48? There's no real difference. When Bitcoin goes to 1 million, there will be no difference if you got it at 6,000, if you got it at 5,800, if you got it at 7,200. Stop waiting. Not financial advice. I myself, what I do is I don't wait. I simply just buy because, yeah, you don't want to be that person. Bitcoin's at $300,000 and you were like, I'm still waiting for the dip. So this is another, I mean, I guess the major takeaway is over the weekend, everyone who's a bull in the market showed us that they're all still bulls. I really have no idea how to transition from this segment. It's more like a everyone who is always bullish is still bullish, and now they're raising their price targets. Except for McAfee. I don't know if everyone caught on to that. Definitely check this out. It's somewhere on the interwebs. It happened about a week and a half ago. 2 weeks ago? It happened in the past. The point is, Mr. McAfee had announced that 2 years ago that Bitcoin was going to, I think, 1 million this year. And then he said that Bitcoin by the end of this year would be $2 million. And I think he's coming to the realization that it's probably not going to go that high, at least not this year. And he started announcing, or he's taken away his support for BTC. He says it's garbage, it's too slow, it's all this other stuff. And I just realized now that he's doing that out of fear because he doesn't want to have to eat his giblets. But yeah, so right, let's move on. Next up in our continuing edition on this channel, news edition called What? This is probably my favorite story in a very long time. In a very, very, very long time. Craig Wright, who claims to be the Bitcoin creator known as Satoshi Nakamoto, has warned. Here's where it gets really good. Craig Wright has warned Bitcoin and Bcash to stop using the Bitcoin database in order to avoid potential lawsuits. Yes, you heard that correctly. He claims that both networks may violate the laws under the terms of Bitcoin's original EULA and MIT license. The man behind Bitcoin Cash, Satoshi's vision, in a recent public blog post, added that he is going to take back control of the system he created. And he is ready to fight for his rights, because it's all about him, ready to fight for his rights this year. Wright argues that the distributed Bitcoin database rights are governed by the Copyright Designs and Patent Act of 1988 CDPA and the Copyright and Rights and Databases Regulations of 1997, Databases Regulation 1997, so it should be considered as personal property. Dr. Wright claims that representation of 21 million total Bitcoin, which equally are divisible by 100 million Bitcoin, is only a verbal deal. The Bitcoin's creator should have the rights to claim this unilateral contract with those nodes to issue. Adding that, he says, as the creator of Bitcoin, I maintain the sui generis rights to any copy of the database created from Genesis in January 2009. I shall not be relinquishing the ownership. I will be licensing it and have already engaged in the process. End quote. If you have kids, tell them to take their vitamins. If you know someone, and this isn't a joke, who needs pills, medicines, make sure they get it, because I think someone isn't getting theirs. Ever since 2018, Craig Wright has been the defendant in a lawsuit filed on behalf of the estate of David Kleiman, Wright's late business partner. The claim alleged that following Kleiman's death in 2013, Wright unlawfully appropriated more than 1 million Bitcoin that the duo had mined jointly in the early years of the cryptocurrency, as well as some related intellectual property. The new trial with Kleiman's case has been postponed to the 17th of April, and the trial won't be held until July 2020. But in any case, it shouldn't take long to find all these claims are legitimate or not. I mean, someone has to make a movie about this. Like, someone, do you all remember when they first made that Facebook movie? Zuckerberg came out in an interview. He was like, I was really hoping that somebody, he said this, he said, I was really hoping that someone wouldn't make a movie about me until I was dead. Nope. Someone needs to make a movie about this. Like, someone has to do it, because it's the story is just far too great. Here's the actual blog post right here on CraigWright.net. It is /blog/law-regulation/forking and passing off. This man believes not only did he create Bitcoin, but that he should have control over the Bitcoin and Bcash database, and that everyone should stop using it because it's his. That the representation of 21 million Bitcoins is only a verbal deal. To who? How weird it is that we didn't get this news 11 years ago, that someone created this. It wasn't like from the get-go, sorry, this is private, this is only for my use. And even better, imagine a world, imagine this, here's the best part, imagine a world where the 50 to 75 million people who are into Bitcoin, imagine this. Imagine they all said, okay, Mr. Wright, and they all put their Bitcoin back on the blockchain and gave it to Craig Wright. He's now in possession of something that no one's using. Do you know what the value of Bitcoin then becomes when nobody wants it and no one's using it? Can you guess what the value becomes? That's right, about $1 million. No, that's a joke. It becomes nothing. I saw this and I thought it was a joke, and then I found the actual blog post, and I feel like it's my birthday, but it's not. It's almost like these really weird instances where people, you know, like those really weird videos, like where people just do stuff that they shouldn't be doing. Like, what was that video where that girl was trying to like dance on her closet door or something like that, and then she ended up flipping backwards and her hand got stuck inside the actual like door closing thing? It's kind of one of those moments. It's like, what do you think is going to happen? On what planet do you think? And even more so, no, I'm not going to say it, because it's too real. I'm going to put it to you this way: we all live on a planet. We know how money works, and we know what people do to keep money. I feel like he is constantly poking a bear that he knows he can't win against. Oh, for those of you who also haven't been keeping up with the Craig Wright saga, remember the bonded courier that he said he was waiting for? Apparently, he told the judge that he's not going to tell the judge where this bonded courier is, because the bonded courier is now his client. And based on client lawyer confirmation quietness, whatever the heck it's called, He can't tell the judge what the bonded courier gave him because it's a secret. Can you imagine the family jewels you have to continuously lie for 11 years? And even more so, how interesting of a person you have to be to continue to follow Craig Wright. I know a lot of people don't care for Craig Wright, but I mean, you can't not report on this. He's telling people around the world that to avoid potential lawsuits, to stop using Bitcoin and Bcash's blockchain. What planet? I don't get it. But this is without a doubt, this actually even beats Bitcoin going up by 40% this year. If this had been the only news this year, I would have been completely full and content. Right. I kid you not. Here's the actual blog post right here. Database writes. Oof. I mean, I hope we see a movie about this. That would make my century. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Chongololo Tsongololo, Mr. Pickles, Nostromo, John Sarson, the Animal Reader, A Bibliophobia, Barebones Mining, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Mohimaroni, Master Adventures in Thailand, Brady Niels, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Crypto Joe, Bankroll Network, Adobo, Miluizi, Crypto Artist, Coldy 3D, Nicholas One Earth, One Piece, One Love, Richie Rich III, Nick Kanaya, Setsuna, Damien, Vlad the Impaler, Crypto and Beer Shipmate, Paxis, Nick Manji, Alavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hitch Chest Every Day, and Kyle Skips Leg Day, Yes to Crypto, Buddy McButtface, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Arfmedic17, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger Macho Nisa, and On Crypto with Lionel. Thank you all very much for your support. And a huge thank you to everyone who is a supporter of the channel. At the moment, Bitcoin's price is down by 2.31%, currently sitting at around roughly $9,700 US dollars. The other altcoins have taken more of a hit. Ether is down by 7.5%. XRP is down by almost 10%. Litecoin is down by 10%. EOS is down by 10%. Chainlink is down by 13%. I'm pretty sure you get the trend of the numbers that I'm saying. Is anything up? Is anything green? And nothing is in the... Oh, Mona coin with the $1 million trading volume. In Synthetics is, of course, also up because Synthetics is a coin that you've never heard of. Right. The market is... sleeping. It's been pushed down into the ground. Let's see if this continues. As of now, there is no news circulating that talks about the actual reason as to why the prices are down, other than this is a market cycle. There is no other news. There's no news that there was a big sell-off. There's no news that there was a big this. There was no hack. There was no exchange fraud. No one went to jail. Nothing bad has happened outside of the prospect that Bitcoin got a bit too hot for its own good, too fast over the last couple of weeks, and therefore the market is now cooling off. However, the momentum still remains, with everyone saying that it is relatively easy for us to go back once again above 10,000 US dollars. I do hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all had it. Wow. I hope you all had a great weekend. Hope you all have a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. I mean, this is the greatest news story that we've ever had. Because think about it this way. How doth one sueth Bitcoin? How could one take out a lawsuit against everyone? You know how costly it would be to take out a lawsuit against everyone who is using the Bitcoin blockchain? I want everyone to think of remember the conversation we had before, why I believed the SEC was going after Telegram and Kick and Iconics and Melodics and all these other coins. It's because they had an office. Bitcoin doesn't have an office. How are you gonna sue Bitcoin? It's very, make sure your family's safe. Make sure you take your pills and your vitamins. And I mean this to everyone out there. Make sure that you're always good, because things can go horribly awry very quick when life hits you hard. But good luck. I would love to see this go to court. Can you imagine? Sir, who are you? Who exactly are you suing? I'm suing the Bitcoin blockchain. Is the defendant here? No, I'm waiting for it. It'll be here in 4 years. It's nonsense. This entire thing is what? What is going on? Like, what? How does no one else freaking out about this? This is the greatest thing we've ever had. Caused my freaking cough to flare up again. Jeez Louise. All right, everybody. Thank you all once again for watching and listening. Please, somebody out there make a movie of this. Thank you all once again. And I'll see you all soon. See you.